For the debate, the member from Algoma, Manitoulin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to Bill 52, an act to amend the building code. Some of you might not know that before I was an elected official to this legislature, and many moons ago, I used to be a cut and skidder operator, worked for an owner-operator for Cherokee Logging, and I also worked in a sawmill environment for Gogama Forest Products at various positions within the mill. So I come from the grassroots of the importance of what the forest industry means in the Northern Ontario. I've been part of the many communities that have been affected by this. My family, along with many of my friends in the North, relied solely on the forestry industry. You know, during my time working in the forestry sector, many of my friends lost their jobs due to the low demand of wood supply, and I saw communities devastated by closures of sawmills, and I also became one of those statistics. According to the CIBC World Market Report, when it comes to job losses and mills closure in Ontario, Ontario has the worst reputation across Canadian provinces. Ontario's Forestry Coalition has reported that since 2002, the forest industry has shed 10,000 direct jobs and as many as 40,000 direct and indirect jobs. Without the appropriate public policies in place, the loss of jobs and economic prosperity is likely to continue. Failure of this government to act and to protect the forestry sector will impact sustainable economic development for communities across Northern Ontario, including members of the First Nations, who are looking to forestry as a means to improving the economic standings of their respective communities. In my riding, we have several mills which are operating at lower capacity, experiencing job losses, and in some unfortunate cases have complete closures. In my riding alone, Weyerhaeuser Mill in Wawa, 160 jobs lost, mill closed. Domtar closed in White River, approximately 236 jobs lost. There is also temporary closed their operations in Nairn Centre, and many still continue to be affected. The Dubreuilville Forest Products community, this community was built on the bones of three brothers who stood together to build this community. 400 direct jobs that were lost there, countless indirect jobs that were lost there again. The mill is still closed today. Domtar Sawmill in Chapleau, mill closed. Tembec is running in Chapleau. However, they've had 140 employees who have experienced layoffs under threat of job loss due to some fiber supply issues, so there's big concerns there. The Thessalon Mill in Midway, lumber mill, is surviving. However, almost 200 permanent jobs were lost there. And if I look here, there's 10, 30, 47, 48 mills that I'm not even going to mention at this point in time. So the list goes on, and I've only mentioned these are just sawmills. There are many other jobs associated with this industry that are experiencing job loss. My staff and I, we spoke to some loggers last night who can't find a contract, or the contracts, the ones they can that are offered to them, they just can't do them because they're offered below operating costs. We have folks working in the trucking companies who transport to these mills, and they too are losing their jobs at staggering rates, not to mention the recent increases to commercial licensing fees. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish I could be optimistic that this bill will improve the economic for Northerners working in the forestry sector, and I do want to believe that it will. However, this is just one small step. Obviously, we need to address the high cost of electricity as well. People in the North are not impressed. Day to day, we have policies which disproportionately disadvantage Northerners. It's about time this government stood up for Northern Ontario workers and made policies to improve the economy in the North, not destroy it. Many other provinces and countries have developed wood-first strategies. It's time we recognize and assist the forest industry after many years, too many years of neglect. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.